for good evening Ghana, Paul Adom Otchere any host na oye program no na o ka bibi efa Galamsay ho na we enwa de John Dramani Mahama ebem na ofa Tony ono so wo NDC for society ro so bem na obo videos bi etinkomo bi fa ho a trending nkofo bibi na ebusa ho question say ene na MPP ni NDC anase NDC for amanyoko no dwumadi omudi ombe so omkyere sen di asem na na esi saa time na o ka bibi fa Galamsay ho ene eye kwanya Galamsay say ni oma ene hawa aye conversation ewo Ghana because see yebeto abai obia penkomo a trendy edibi ena Galamsay so yade very important e was Ghana ni bia de hye ete ane etimishi no nti Paul Adom Otchere tena se a wodi ni nkomo no ena obo videos bi ahodo a free NDC for asoye a omo call Galamsay site a na omo hye eye mamufo no kutupa se omo enkoye Galamsay afi kura so de se Mahama no be president ya obebo modin abeyi omo a Galamsay no nti achichi wo omo amafo mebi na so kyere se Galamsay no omo a achichi wo omo no omo kwa do omo nya Galamsay ne emu ye chairman fo mpanyifo omo ye Galamsay no enkwada na amkochichi omo de enkoche hwe because enkwada no no woti baabi kom na de no ana senior ma bia tam na akochi nwure mu no ye ne Galamsay nti akwada na wache na wokojeli no ne chairman no besa afa nipa foforo amana akoye Galamsay ni bi enkoman nkofo nso edi no na yenkotie nsem ahodo apo Adom Otchere ekaye time wana oye good evening Ghana efa eye Galamsay no ho ene John Dramani Mahama ene ofa Tony nsem wo mwe kekaye no yentie de Mahama din kan ye wi a ebekọ the second video no boy a creative conversation ewo Ghana no yebekọ akotie no so.
And I love you all my viewers. I love you so much. I mean, they are watching your show, they are producing the show for you, they are telling you you should do this. They say the thing you said, you haven't finished saying it, you have lost one paragraph. Oh, I have never seen a group of viewers like this before. Wow. Okay, this is the John Mahama video. Have a look.
Ezu Yaban Omo Omochi Omo Galamsay no Omo Atu Omo Yabema Omo amnesty no Omo Saba Ezu Yaban Omo Omochi Omo Galamsay no Omo Atu Omo Yabema Omo amnesty no Omo Saba
Yaba. Okay. Yaba. Oma yechi omo no. Yabema omo amnesty. Tomasa koye omo juma. This is what President Mahama said. Some people look at it as a clear statement undermining the government's efforts to curb Galamsay. Because if you are former president, 2020, if you are former president of 2013 to 2017, a president comes in at 2017, he launches a major anti-Galamsay policy. They call it all sorts of names, operation this, operation that, operation that. And then in 2020's elections, 2 years down the line, the former president tells the people campaigning in the Galamsay areas that if I am elected, everybody arrested under Galamsay, I'll release them. Viewers, you decide. I mean, he's former president. I can't talk about him anyhow. He's former president. As for Tony Aubin, I can deal with him. As for Johnson, I can deal with him. But this is former president. Decorum to the office of the president, the seat that he occupied. I can't say much. But listen to it again and make your own view out of it. I think that is a clear way to undermine the government's policy of Galamsay, where you would have thought that civil society and government and opposition and parliament will come together to sort of erase this menace and cause it to be a thing of the past. It's a menace, a stigma on our society, and it involves a lot of money. So it's problematic in terms of solving it. And when a government in place is trying to solve it, and it's election time, and for the sake of votes and for the sake of election, the former president makes these comments. I don't know what you want to make of it.
Video we no din kan boy ye fa John Dramani Mahama ho. Mahama eka wo campaign simpie so wo kyere say omo ayachichi omo Galamsay ni mu no no ba obetimi aboa mo mu nyina aba abonten na de besi asi amen wadi sankomo no second video boy enso eye owura Tony ono so gina site ono gina hope ene wo kyere say o show mu kutupa mo mai saade no nese Galamsay de se ye ka say NPP ka say ye guna NDC de be campaign NDC ka say ye guna NPP de be campaign nese se ye ka say video apo Adom Otchere be bo no NDC for na na de campaign based on this video na me be body akire we no yenkoti asema hodo a opanyini ekaye ebra Paul Adom Otchere na oye ni video anase oye ni program no obo of attorney nsem okokaye o campaign site no kan sembi obedi nkan no say Anodom prince mo ko kan ye e parliament no parliament for etimi akasa etia association for so omye ba nso akasa etia ana MPP for nso akasa etia o kaka sansem ni nyina ansa na obebo eye toni de na okogina simpie so time wa na omoye Galamsay no ko site wankasa eno kodi sankomo ne yenkotie nsema hodo Paul Adom Otchere.
The Bar Association condemns Adom press statements. I believe the MPP condemns Adom press statements. Adom press is just a statement. He ought to be cautioned. Tony Aubin was directly urging the people to go and do Galamsay. Civil society said they have not heard it because he's a member of the opposition. Because all civil society are opposition and everybody doesn't like akufo-addo because akufo-addo is this, akufo-addo is that. He thinks his father was president. He thinks he knows. He thinks. The man won 1 million votes. You were sitting down. Did you win 1 million votes with him? You were sitting down. And somehow, because of hatred for akufo-addo, they don't want to mention Tony Aubin. Is that how to develop a country? Is that how to build a country? We can't build a country like that. Let's build a country with honesty. All of those who call themselves leaders, we are news reporters. We are not leaders. We are news reporters. We are here to report the story. And we are here to look at the thesis, the synthesis, the antithesis. And we shall never renege on that. If you look at the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis of Galamsay, this man should be called out by everybody who is looking at the analysis correctly. How can a man like this, a very important person in the mining sector, a lawyer, go and stand and tell Galamsay people that if we win the election, you can come and continue your Galamsay? And then Ghana Water comes to complain about Galamsay, and the first person they talk about is the lands minister. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? This is the problem with our civil society people. Those who say they are civil society, this is the problem. This is the problem. The pastors who are talking about Galamsay, the most Reverend Ajanasari. Have you heard Tony Aubin? He's a member of the party that you sympathize with. And there's no problem with a pastor sympathizing with any political party. Even America's pastor, Billy Graham, sympathized with the Republican Party. So there's no problem with that. But if you are a pastor, you are sympathizing with a political party, you ought to know that your integrity is first. In terms of the analysis, maybe Ajanasari hasn't heard it. I can understand that. He's a pastor. He's busy. He's managing a big church. Maybe he hasn't heard it. But now we've played the video. You've seen it. Tony Aubin, that's what he told. Play the video for me again. And Tony Aubin is the second speaker. Play the video again.
You see, I'm going said the land in the city. Obeka, Namebua, after on the 11th, on the 7th, and she said, at the mom, because on one of us, I got now. Said the Bay, you know, no brain or my Jumata clay. Which would be not a Philippi. Now, so that's how I was 1 month out of Kakoheim. Now, so the Abba Yaguma. Now, so do Chromo call for Friday. Eddie, and 2 Papa to Abana, a John Dramani Mahama, a 2 diet. The Empire Jumani Galamsay, Ghana Betu Galamsay. And I do one eye and also see another vanguard for no. And the players are crackers say, Yatuabaria, Mubesha, Vanguard in Mukina. Yayans now say, Emma by when the good man on the 7th, on the 8th, on the 9th. Yawa Mahama in Mumramba. Adom. This is Yami John Dramani Mahama. Namutama Abubakar Sadika. Namusi John Mama Adom Kunim. Abubakar Adom Kunim. That's the difference one. Muya Majuma. Namu so you will see her. So Ababa Sama. Musi who. If you are Tremo, Mayan to Abano, never Moya Mohubai. Vanguard no Omumuno. Vanguard no Edaso. About 20 more my day. In my money, I who come on a Vanguard day. Oh, if you are Tremo, your dad Shabat on a day. Get a massy.
Tony Aubin, you heard him, viewers. You heard him. Very decent man. Very, very decent man. Very knowledgeable. Very intellectual. That's what he said. On the altar of politics. That's why I say that politics can destroy. On the altar of politics, wanting to show that he's the largest person under the umbrella, he told the Galamsayers that you should go, if we win the election, you are going to do your Galamsay. And this was to gain votes in 2020. Now, go and look at the vote tally in 2020. The New Patriotic Party lost the election in all the Galamsay areas. That's why Barbara Otchere is not in parliament. Barbara Otchere is not in parliament. That's why Ekuonaba nearly lost. Because the MPP lost all the Galamsay areas because the Galamsay people were aware that Tony Aubin told them that if the NDC were to win, they will continue with Galamsay. So they voted for the NDC. You can't blame them for that. They are doing their work. And the work is illegal, but that's how they survive. And Dr. Bawumia recently promised the Galamsey people a new way of working. He talked about a mining loan, mining profile, mining this, mining that. And they seem to be excited about it because you have to give them something to take them away from the pit, because they are Ghanaians and they are entitled to a livelihood. But they cannot have a livelihood that is destroying water for the rest. What do sociologists say? The greatest good for the greatest number of people. That's what sociologists say. Every good, the greatest of it all, how we determine that a good is great is that that good is serving the greatest number of people. That's what they say. The greatest good for the greatest number of people. It's in anthropology as well. So the people are entitled to a livelihood, aren't they? They are Ghanaians, but can they continue to destroy the water for the livelihood? No, they cannot. So that's the point we are making. That Muhammadu Bawumia went to them and gave them something else. They seemed excited about it. Our report is that the Galamsey areas are excited about Muhammadu Bawumia's policy for them. And so, in September, civil society has been whipped to say that MPP is responsible for Galamsey. They should show us that they can do the Galamsey. They should take the soldiers to go and beat the Galamsey people. Yes, they may have to put some force in there, but the hypocrisy must be dealt with. First, deal with Tony Aubin, because if you take the soldiers there now, Tony Aubin will go and tell them that vote for NDC. When we vote for NDC, you do Galamsey. So they will be hiding away from the soldiers, waiting to vote for NDC, and that they will do Galamsey. Now, we should ask, what is the MPP's policy on Galamsey? What is the NDC's policy on Galamsey? Since the last 10 days, when the Galamsey story started, have you heard John Dramani Mahama speak about what he will do with Galamsey? They should ask him. He's the opposition leader. He's a former president under whose jurisdiction Aisha Wan did all the dirty that she did to Ghana. Everything Aisha Wan did to hurt Ghana was done when John Dramani Mahama was president of the republic. Shouldn't the media be asking John Dramani Mahama questions? That have you heard that Aisha Wan is being prosecuted based on things she did when you were president? Were you aware that she was doing these things? If you become president again, what policy would you put in place so that the likes of Aisha Wan will not be able to exist and strive? Are we asking John Mahama that question? Or civil society is designed just to fight akufo-addo? Civil society is designed to fight akufo-addo. Then, when you are listening to the news, something that has nothing to do with auditing, then they say that also on the phone is the former Auditor General, Dom Levo. Then he's talking about something that he doesn't even understand. He's an auditor, he's a chartered accountant. Now they call him for everything anti-akufo-addo. They call Dom Levo. What kind of practice is this? What kind of practice is this? Everything. Dom Levo is answering questions on law. Dom Levo is asking questions on Supreme Court procedure. Dom Levo is asking questions on political legitimacy. Dom Levo is asking questions or answering questions on everything that they think will generate something against akufo-addo. Dom Levo is there. So the whole civil society is against akufo-addo, and they have reneged on their responsibility to be a true civil society for the enforcement of the 1992 Constitution. It is for the enforcement of the 1992 Constitution. Tony Aubin, let's start with him. If you jump Tony Aubin, then you have not done any service to Ghana. Because that's what he said. He said it. That the people should do the Galamsey. And they should vote for NDC. And that if they vote for NDC and they do the Galamsey, NDC will come and allow them to do their work. That's what an intelligent man told Galamseyers. So that they will get votes. Did they get the votes? Yes, they did. They did. Go to all the Galamsey areas. NDC won everywhere. And that's what they've started again. Government should take the soldiers there. Clamp down Galamsey makers. Tony Aubin will go there in the night. He will wear his beautiful, expensive Lacoste like you saw him wearing. And his very nice spectacles. A very nice man. He will go there and go and speak fancy with them. And tell them that, hey, won't he? Azeno, Galamsey no obey. Into one to Obama, John Dramani Mahama. You heard him say it. 8, 9, this. Vote for John Dramani Mahama. And then Tony Aubin will come and help them to do the Galamsey. Because John Dramani Mahama is president. This is how he wants to benefit from Galamsey. He wants to benefit from Galamsey by NDC being elected. Show me another politician who has said that. You won't find. You will find Tony Aubin, and civil society says that they haven't seen it, they haven't heard it. What kind of Ghana are we building? What kind of Ghana are we building? You may not like akufo-addo. Me too, I don't like Kutu Achampong. But you can't take away from Kutu Achampong what he has done. Some people don't like Dr. Liman, but you can't take from Dr. Liman what he has done. Some people don't like J.J. Rawlings. A large number of people don't like J.J. Rawlings, but you can't take away from some. You may not like akufo-addo. But Godfrey Dami has showed you the statistics that in this Fourth Republic, no government has prosecuted on Galamsey than akufo-addo's government. You can't take that away from him. What you can take away from him is Tony Aubin. Tony Aubin is the one you can take. Tony Aubin is the one you should be dealing with. As for akufo-addo, he has given you the details of what he has done with Galamsay. Bema beyebi, wan beyeni nyina. He tried to do his best. The Galamsay is a very complicated situation. But you have people like Tony Aubin who are festering it underneath and hiding in the bush to go and talk to Galamsayers and tell them that they should come and do the Galamsay, because when they do the Galamsay, they will not do anything to them if John Dramani Mahama is president. No civil society, no media is questioning John Dramani Mahama. That everything Aisha did was done in your tenure. She's now been convicted. Have you seen it? What is your reaction to the fact that Aisha has been convicted? Given that everything Aisha did was done in 2013, 14, 15, when you, John Dramani Mahama, was president of Ghana. Now it makes sense, that is it. Because Tony Aubin, who is a bona fide member of the NDC, is telling the Galamsayers this for 2020's election. He should be arrested. Should be arrested and questioned by the police. Now, what did you say? Now, when the leaders of the society see that this is happening, there will be a problem. They are chasing Akonta mining. What about Tony Aubin? What did he say? Have you heard it? Please, this hypocrisy, we should stop.
Abusia and some of my Otchere when once for comment bra. The obra po air king. Why didn't you mu and say na Galamsay yankasan e better than affect Galamsay, because I say obia de share a doom any dying. I didn't solution on the PCCA. But solution na kwes and painful in any solution. But ubia pesemim kumyantino. And our quest ubia ekasa na or bonny young quachi bim said a beer nipa bakubu who's 1 year correct. Ibian said Tony Akujina a baby a jumay, our catcher or say, or more Galamsay need or munkoso no money and was so chill or more show mukutu pain. And a poor air can once me. The Galamsay somewhere a corso, a good evening Ghana, tamana poor any program. And my boy, which will I drink rubber. Solution ye pay. And same way the pointing fingers, who is saying.